Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you are fine. Today we are gonna talk about water. Why is water considered a valuable natural resource on Earth's surface? Water is a valuable natural resource because all living organisms such as human, plants and animals need water to live. And how can we protect the natural resource on Earth's surface? How? There is a limited amount of water on Earth, so we must conserve it. Most of the water is salt water, not fresh water. Most of the water is salt water, so we can't use it, which can't be processed by most plants and animals. So we must conserve fresh water and prevent it from pollution. So give reason we must conserve fresh water and prevent it from pollution. Why? Because there is a limited amount of water on Earth and most of the water is salt water which can't be processed by animals and plants. Yes, super. And now uses of water. You have studied that humans can use water in many purposes such as drinking, bathing, cleaning vegetables and fruits, fishing and transportation and so on. Let's see some other uses of water such as number 1 generating electricity, and number 2 agriculture. Number 2 agriculture and number 2 generating electricity. And now let's talk about sources of water. Sources of water. In Egypt, water is used to generate electricity at the Aswan High Dam. Okay, so in Egypt, water is used to generate electricity at Aswan High Dam. And there are many sources of water on Earth, such as rivers, glaciers, streams, groundwater, seas, rains, oceans, and ponds. Okay, so there are many sources of water on Earth, such as rivers, glaciers, streams, groundwater, seas, rains, oceans, ponds, and lakes. Okay. And what do you already know about water as a valuable natural resource? You have known from the previous concept that there are two different types of water. We know that there are two different types of water. Number one, fresh water, and number 2, salt water. Fresh water and salt water. We are gonna to classify different water bodies on Earth into sources of fresh water and sources of salt water. So we are gonna to classify different water bodies on Earth into sources of fresh water and sources of salt water. Let's start with sources of fresh water. Like groundwater, rains, rivers. Groundwater, rains, rivers. Okay. And stream, pond, glaciers. Stream, pond, glaciers. Okay. And now sources of salt water. Sources of salt water like oceans and seas. So sources of salt water like oceans and seas. Okay. And now conserving fresh water. Conserving fresh water means using water in a correct way. Give reason. We must conserve fresh water because the percentage of fresh water that is suitable for drinking is very small compared to the percentage of water on Earth. So, because the percentage of fresh water that is suitable for drinking is very small compared to the percentage of water on Earth. So, we must, number 1, turning off water tap during brushing your teeth. Number 2, taking a quick shower. Number three, turning off the water while washing your teeth. Okay, taking a quick shower. And number three, turning off the water while washing your teeth. Okay, uses of water: cleaning, traveling, preparing food, bathing, manufacturing, recreation. Okay, okay. What do you already know about hydrosphere and biosphere interaction? Water bodies on Earth have different forms and locations, such as: number one, according to oceans and seas, there are very large water bodies. Number two, oceans and seas always contain salt water. So the water of ocean and seas is salt water, and they are very large water bodies. Okay, number two, according to lakes, a lake is a water body that is surrounded by land. So, in the scientific term, water body that is surrounded by land is lake. Super. Most of lakes contain fresh water and some of them contain salt of water. Okay? A lake is a water body that is surrounded by land. Number two, most of lakes contain fresh water and some of them contain salt water. Yes. Number three, according to rivers. A river is a water body that always flow from an area of higher altitude or higher place to an area with lower altitude or lower place in a definite path. Number two, river always contain fresh water. So the water of river is fresh water. Yes, fresh water. Okay. Okay. And that is all for this session, and see you next time. Bye bye.